Hello, good morning children. In our previous chapter, we had done Babur, Humayun and Sher Shah Suri. Now, in this chapter, we are going to do Akbar. Humayun had returned to Delhi after 15 years and he re-established Mughal rule in India. Do you remember when Humayun was in exile? That time itself he had married and he got a son, Agber. So after regaining the Mughal rule in India, shortly the throne of Delhi, he died in 1556 CE in an accidental fall from the stairs of his own library. Akbar, at that time, he was just 13 years old and he was proclaimed emperor. And he ruled for 50 years. And he also established himself as the greatest ruler in medieval India. Bairam Khan, who was Humayun's faithful and experienced general, became Akbar's regent and he looked after the affairs of the government on Akbar's behalf. In November 1556 CE, the two armies met on the historical battle of Panipat, where 30 years earlier Babur had defeated Ibrahim Lodi and he had laid the foundation of the Mughal Empire. Hemu was defeated and killed. The second battle of Panipat crushed the Afghan power and even removed the threat to Akbar's throne. Now, subjugation of the Rajputs. Akbar realized that Delhi and Agra could never be safe until the Rajputs were subdued. He also realized that the friendship and support of the Rajputs would be of great help in strengthening and expanding the Mughal Empire. Having understood the advantages of a friendly relationship with the Rajputs, Akbar entered into matrimonial alliances with them. He married the daughter of the Raja of Jaipur and he also decided to marry the daughter of Uday Singh, the Rana of Mewar. Now, conflict with Rana Pratap Singh, the Rajputs of Mewar, however, refused to submit. And Rana Pratap organized an army and clashed with the Mughal forces in the Battle of Haldighati in 1576 CE. The Mughal forces were led by the Rajput chief Raja Man Singh of Agber. The Rajputs were outnumbered and finally defeated by the Mughal army. Rana Pratap was able to recover the parts of his territories before his death, but not Chittor. The memory of Rana Pratap Singh is still honored in Rajasthan for his bravery, courage, and his heroic lifelong struggle to free Mewar from Mughal control. The Deccan campaigns, having expanded and consolidated his authority over northern and southern India, Akbar turned his attention to the Deccan by 1601 CE. He had annexed Berar, Khandes, and parts of Ahmednagar. Thus, in 40 years, Akbar carved out an empire that stretched from the Hindu Kush mountains in the west to the Brahmaputra in the east, and from the Himalayas in the north to the Godavari in the south. Now, administration of Akbar, one of the greatest achievements of Akbar was the establishment of an excellent administrative setup. To join together all the provinces in the vast empire into a uniform unit, a strong centralized government was set up. and he was assisted by a team of ministers and officials. The appointments, promotion, and dismissal of all officials, including commanders of the army, was the sole right of the emperor. Now, Akbar's council of ministers was composed of the Wazir or the Dewan, who was the head of the revenue department. Second one was the Mir Bakshi, who was the head of the military department and the paymaster of all mansabdars. Next was the chief sadar or the Qazi, who was the chief judge. Next, the Mir Shaman, who was the superior of the royal household. The Vakil or the Prime Minister, who did not exercise any effective authority. Akbar had reduced the Vakil's position to that of an advisory ceremonial head. Akbar held regular meetings with his senior officers in the Diwan-e-Khas. He considered himself the father and guardian of his subjects. He would meet them in the Diwan-e-Am, where he would receive petition, listen to their problems, and solve many cases on the spot itself. Now, provincial administration, the vast empire was divided into 15 provinces. The provinces were subdivided into districts or sarkars, and the villages were looked after by the village panchayats. Okay, thank you children. This much for today.